y'all, welcome to the Nicola J YouTube channel. My name is Alviana, creator and owner of Nicola J, and as someone who has lit several candles and has made way more, I know how easy it is to run into problems. There are a bunch of different candle problems that you can run into as you're making candles or as you're lighting candles, and today I wanted to talk about a few of them and how to fix them. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow Nicola J on social medias, and share this video to anyone who might need it. Without further ado, let's get into it. First issue, I light my candle and it doesn't smell like anything. Usually the biggest culprit to this problem is fragrance oil. For example, did you add the fragrance oil at the right temperature? Did you add too much fragrance oil? Did you add too little fragrance oil? Those are things to think about when you run into this problem. When you buy wax from a manufacturer, 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you how much fragrance oil can safely be added to the wax, so make sure to definitely abide by that. More is not always best. One more thing before I move on that I wanted to mention, fragrance oil can evaporate, so make sure that you don't add the fragrance oil at too high of a temperature because maybe that's why your candle isn't smelling. Second issue, my candle's tunneling. What do I do? First off, let's describe what tunneling is for the people who might not know. Basically what tunneling is when the candle, like the wax, doesn't reach its full melt pool. I got this candle from Target and you can see that it's tunneling. You see how the wax is on the edges and it hasn't burned. Usually a candle tunnels because the wick is too small or because the flame is extinguished prematurely. Let's say that you burn a candle and after a little bit you extinguish the flame and the candle wasn't able to burn completely. Basically what will happen is that the candle kind of sets a boundary for itself where it'll only get to that melt pool every time for the rest of the burn. So to solve the issue of tunneling, I would say to use a bigger wick, try that. And also if you did extinguish your candle early, let the candle burn for like 2 to 4 hours to let it get that full melt pool. So the third issue is that your candle won't stay lit. How do we fix that? I know from experience, one of the most frustrating things is having a beautiful candle and then when you light it, it burns out. The main reasons why your candle won't stay lit usually is because the wick was cut too short, the wick is too small in general, or that there's too much wax compared to wick and it just kind of swallows the wick. The best solution to fix this problem is to grab a heat gun. You can get these like anywhere where they sell heat guns. I got this one from Inksy. Just like my last video where I talked about the tools that elevated my business, this is definitely something that's accessible. You can get this online or in store depending on where you want to go to get the heat gun. The solution I have is to grab the heat gun and warm up the wax, get it melted, and then pour out some of the wax so that more of the wick is showing, and that should help solve that issue. Or just next time if you're making, use a bigger wick. Fourth issue, your candle is burning black. So whether you burn the candle and see black smoke coming from your wick, or whether you like extinguish your candle, you notice that there's black smudge on it, and you're like, what is that? It's understandable. So this issue is extremely common, whether you see it in store-bought candles or handmade candles. This is my candle. That can be caused by several issues, whether you use too much fragrance oil when you made the candle, the wick itself is too big, or even let's say you got the fan on, the window open, there's like a draft hitting the candle. That can affect the flame and the performance of the candle. To fix this issue, I would definitely try to use less fragrance oil or use a smaller wick, or just keep the candle in a place away from any drafts or winds or anything like that. The last issue, the candle has wet spots. How do I fix it? As a candle maker, this is definitely the most recent issue I've gone through. It's easier to compare when you have one that has wet spots and one that doesn't. You see difference between these candles? The one on the right has wet spots and the other doesn't. So as you can see, this one is very uniform and this one, like, it's not adhered to the glass properly. And that basically is what wet spots are, when the glass doesn't adhere to your vessel properly. And for my candle makers who are worrying, or the people who might have candles that have wet spots, you're like, wait a second, okay, this is a problem? Oh. It doesn't affect the way the candle performs. It's purely a cosmetic issue, like the way it looks. That's the only issue it is. If you're anything like me who likes the little details of things, especially when it comes to your business, I definitely was like, I'm about to stop using clear vessels because I don't like the way this looks. This can be caused by several things, whether the area where you're pouring, the temperature is too low, it's like way too cold, or the vessel itself is too cold or dirty, or the wax is way too hot when you pour it in there. It can cause that issue of wet spots. The best solution to this issue, in my opinion, which got me from this to this, is using a heat gun. So I clean the vessel, I dry them, make sure there's no water in your vessel because then it'll mess up the candle. And then what I'll do is wick the candle, of course, and then grab my heat gun and heat the glass until it gets warm. And I haven't ran into another wet spot problem since, so it works. And as I was researching for this video, another thing that people do is that they put their vessels into the oven. I saw an article where someone puts their vessels in the oven at 150 degrees to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. They put it in there for a little bit, take it out, bam. I was gonna try that, but my oven doesn't go that low. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna use my heat gun, and it works. So do what you wanna do your own research. Of course, it's your business, so do what works best for you. So of course there won't be a universal answer to any of these issues, but I do hope that this video did some good. Maybe you learned something. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with any aspiring candle makers, follow Nicola J on social media, and also I do have a website. I make and sell candles and wax melts, so if you want to check that out, everything's in the description. Any webpage that I looked at while trying to make this video, I definitely linked it down below, so if you want to check out those websites. And also some of those websites talk about things I didn't mention, so definitely check them out if you have any other issues. And feel free to leave a comment. Let's help each other out if anyone else is running into issues, or if someone's like, oh well, I saw that she said this about wet spots, but I do this and this works too. Definitely talk about it in the comments. That's about it. So thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot. Have a good day, and until next week, bye.